Welcome back to the What's Up Eddie channel, Divine Therapy Sessions, and of course I'm the one and only Eddie. So glad to have you guys back. And today we're going to talk about God. We're going to talk about prayer. And I don't want you guys to get hung up on, the word God or Lord or all the words that we have for something that's over us, right? Whether that be in different cultures, we call it different things, right? Ganesh, Shiva, Brahma, our Father, God, Yahweh. There's a lot of names, right? So don't get hung up on the names, but do know that there is the one creator. Now, you and I don't know whether or not God is a person, place, a thing. It is explained as that God is everything and nothing all at the same time, right? So we don't know that. We can only go off of what we read and what other channelers give to us the information, right? So this is my take on it. And we don't know really, only is what we believe, right? So I do know this. Whether or not you believe in something, which all of us do because we wouldn't be here, right? You do believe in something. Even if you say you don't believe in God or that you don't want to believe in something like that, just know that it exists and know that there's entities that believe in you, whether that be the dark or the light. The devil likes you and he wants to hurt you, but he wants to work through you, right? And believe these entities want to work through you. So just know that there is something more. On my journey, on this spiritual journey, I've made a lot of realizations. One of the key safe bets, scapegoats, whatever you want to call it, the thing that's going to help you guys the most is prayer. I say this to everybody. We're always talking to that person in our head, right? You're always having that conversation. I know I do. Since I was a little boy, I've prayed. I prayed before I even knew what prayer was. So I know I'm good at it. A lot of the times when I first started it, and then there were some times when things were going bad in my life, God wasn't listening. I would always say that number. God's not listening. Half the time we believe that God's not listening because things aren't going our way. Which we don't realize is that half the time we don't need what we're asking for. We don't need it. And God's helping us. And usually, from my own experience, when I get what I want, I usually don't want it. Or its shine or its pizzazz, it loses its shine after a while, right? Then I move on to the next thing. Or he actually gives me something that I thought I wanted, and then I got it, and then it was freaking terrible. That's God's way of telling us that you and I, we're always selling ourselves short. But if you keep this dialogue with God, if you keep this dialogue with the divine, right? Now, I always say this, however you want to explain your God, don't get caught up because I say God. If you want to call it the divine, you want to call it Shiva, you want to call God whatever you want to call him or her, because God's both masculine and feminine, right? He's everything and nothing. He's the Alpha, the Omega. So don't get caught on those words. Just get caught on what I'm saying. Or the spiritualists, they say universe, right? Or the creator, the divine. When you're speaking, you and I are both magical human beings because we're a spirit, right? Inside of us, we're a consciousness. The body, this beautiful face that I have right here, this is just a vessel. I got to give it back, right? So just know that you and I, just our words alone, we have the power to create anything on this earth. But we have more than that. The story goes further than that. You and I are in multiple places at multiple times. Why do you think you go to sleep? You go to sleep for a reason. Where do you go? Now you remember some of it, right? I know I do. Well, I'm a medium, right? I'm a channeler. So I actually get visions through my dreams. So just know that like those different realms that you reach, they're real. They're a reality. They're a different version. Just like on planet Earth, when we step into a decision, we have multiple decisions that we could make, right? Just you made the conscious effort to make a decision on which one you wanted to choose. So there's multiple versions of you, right? You can always change it. There's always, everything that's happening right now is forever. And some things are always written. There's some things in your life that you agreed on. It's a contract that you need to get done here. And when you break those contracts, usually there's a consequence for it, right? And if you fulfill it, there are consequences for that too, right? You get rewarded. That's why after like a huge thing that you finish and you accomplish, and even if you didn't accomplish it and got everything that you wanted, usually after that, and the door closes, you go through a transitional period, right? The in-between phase. And in this in-between phase, you're gearing up, and you usually unload, right? You get back to your center, you connect back to the divine, which a lot of us don't understand. And when you get to the next door and you open that door up, many new blessings come in. That's why they say when you close one door, many others open. So let's go back to prayer. Prayer is huge, guys. Huge. It is your way to connect back to God. And whenever you ask, you will receive. And if you don't receive, He will give you better. Believe that. Also, the huge thing that I had started doing since I got sober is pray for other people. Now, I did it before, but I didn't do it as religiously as I do now. That is a game changer, you guys. When you stop praying about yourself and you pray for others, ooh, that's when things start to get better, because you're no longer praying for yourself. You're wishing better for somebody else, and you're sending that energy straight from the divine to that person. Can you imagine how powerful that is? Also, and I'm going to tell you guys something, a little secret of the trade. When you pray for your enemy, it's even better. Because a lot of the times we don't like those people, right? They did us dirty. Sometimes I'm praying for people that I despise. But you know what actually begins to happen? Your enemy becomes your friend. Your enemy starts to watch you. Your enemy, and look it, if I have enemies that watch this YouTube channel, they're still learning at the end of the day, whether they dislike me, whether they want to compete with me, whether they want to get to the next level. There's a competition to it, right? But there's healing, there's remedy in this. So just know, praying for others is going to help you. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of God, right? And so the way that because I have a little boy in me, right, where I just like to, I'm very creative, I'm an artist, I like to envision stuff. And some of the hits that I got, like, so my dream God is like, I like the idea of God in the sky in a big palace, and like we all go there, right? It may be true, it may not, I don't know. But I do know this. So you look at all the religions, right? And there's something supernatural going on. There's a aspect in which you and I don't understand. And there's different cultures in our past that point to a direction of actual aliens, right? So there's something coming out the sky. They've got like depictions in Egypt. They got depictions in different caves in different parts of the world. And we're barely now putting this together, right? So there's things when I read the Bible, and I'm looking at these other cultures, like the Indian cultures, like the Eastern cultures, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, like, you look at their gods, right? They seem supernatural. They got powers and stuff. And it made me realize something, that you and I, our God, this may just be a stomping ground, a learning. This is like learning lessons here. So know that it's quite possible that you and I actually don't look like the way that we look right now. Because they say that when you're here, there's an illusion, there's a veil. You and I may just be aliens. Or you and I, the human, are the alien. Think about that. What if... So alien, so when we talk about it, because we think that we're the center of the universe, which the earth, and it's, I think, arrogant to say, because there's got to be more. There is more. That's the thing. When you read the thing, when you read certain stuff in the Bible, right? And we all look at this, the words in it, and we can see it rings true for a lot of us, right? We can resonate with it. So this is the intuitive hits that I started getting, because I asked these questions when I was a young man and reading these books. It would speak about God, but never explain what God was. Now there's the book of who is it? I forget his name. It'll come back to me. But there's 2 books that actually explain what God is. And it said that it was a burning bright light. And it almost looked like a mechanism. So God may not even actually be something that we can actually recognize. It's an actual blinding light, flame. That's how it was explained when I read it. Also, it says that they give like a more of a figurative way of explaining God. Now, this is just my intuition, my intellect, is when you think about the way that they explain angels, the way that even people who follow Satan, Lucifer, do they not have a depiction of them looking very alien? Satan himself looks like a goat head with a body, right? With a human body. What does that tell us? The angels with fiery wings, some of them with wings, multiple wings, a lion face and an eagle's head. That sounds very alien, does it not? And we're not piecing this together. I don't understand why not. I think you and I aren't, they don't want us to know yet, right? But mark my words, your dynamic and my dynamic will change. Our narrative will change about everything if something comes out of the sky, will it not? Now, you and I don't know, there may be even a bigger, higher echelon than that, right? Because it may just be another set of oppression waiting for us. So I tell you this, God does have your best interest in mind, and God quite very well may be an alien. Alien features, the angels. The angels may just be a word that we're using for an alien, and we may look alien to this race. So just know that. Those are some hits that I was getting, but overall, the concept of God and what it truly means, right? It's that game-changing mentality overall, and that's all I want you guys to know, is that like the communication with the divine is huge. Anything that you put belief into, it becomes a reality, right? When you start the dialogue begins to build, and then you realize that God is actually talking to you. Now, some of us, like myself, God does talk to me. But God also talks to us in different ways, different languages, different signs. There's cultures that say different things, right? Native Americans, wind talkers. They look at animal spirits. I have other videos that explain the different languages, the light language that I call light language, which is different from what other people say, like the tongues, but this light language is definitely God talking through different omens, talking through the land, talking through other people, music. So know that the language is there, and God is always talking to us. It just depends on you if you want to listen, but you get to open yourself up to this. And when you open yourself up, and you open up that third eye, you guys, you can accomplish anything. You are divine, and you're being guided, and you're being guided back to the light. And when you get out of the darkness and move into the light, I can promise you this, your life will change. And I'm not talking about abundance, materialistic, because in this third density, we put so much emphasis on material abundance. I promise you, it ain't worth shit at the end of the day. The only thing that matters is love, relationships, how you treat people. That's what's going to be remembered, not about the bank amount number in your bank account. That's not going to be anything. Because half the time we use money and power over people, to imprison other people, to treat people foul. What's better, to have a good, rich heart and have a decent amount of money, or even a low amount of money, or have a fucked up heart, a bad heart, excuse my language, a bad heart, but have a whole bunch of money and treat people terribly? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm telling you this, is that God expects you to be of a higher vibration, and to be in a higher vibration, you're going to have to be different. And how to be different, you're going to have to learn it, right? Just know that there's lessons in these holy books, but the lessons come from actual life. And when you open up the dialogue with God, God will chant you. He will lift you up. He will take you through the journey when it's hard, because the journey's meant to be hard. That's all I got you guys for today on this subject. I love you guys. Make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. All right, guys. Bye.